Good afternoon, everyone. It's Lori with the Dalai Nala, and today I'd like to talk about ways to make life less stressful and more enjoyable. I know this time of year we tend to become stressed out because of the holidays and all the hustle and bustle of it all, but let's think of ways to make it less stressful and more enjoyable. And you can take this into the new year and apply it to everyday life. I think at one point or another, we've all tried to make changes in our lives happen, especially changes that could potentially make us happier, healthier, and more successful in life. However, very few of us follow through because, let's face it, change is hard. Instead of focusing on huge, world-altering changes, begin to move forward by incorporating these small and simple changes that you could implement immediately into your life. One of them is retraining your brain to stay positive. In almost any situation, you could always find a silver lining. Most situations. Our thoughts and actions are influenced by our feelings. Part of the problem in today's world is we are surrounded by negativity. There's nothing we can do about that. Nothing. We will always be bombarded with negativity. But what you can do is learn how to reprogram your mind to stay positive. While we may never be able to completely rid our brains of negative thoughts, we can drastically reduce them. With some patience and the willingness to discipline ourselves, we can indeed retrain the brain to stay positive. One of the ways to help you practice this is by keeping a gratitude journal. I know that sounds really simple, but you'd be surprised how many people get stuck on such a simple task. But let me tell you this. One gratitude study involved assigning a group of young adults to keep a daily journal of things that they were grateful for. The other group was instructed to keep a daily journal of things that annoyed them or to list reasons why they were better off than other people. The group that kept the gratitude journal demonstrated greater increases in attention, determination, energy, and enthusiasm. That's pretty cool. So the other thing you can try and do to make life less stressful, I know a lot of you are going to moan about this one. Set your alarm clock to go off a half hour earlier than it normally does. This is one trait that successful individuals all have in common. They all get up early. While you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn, you could start setting it a half hour earlier than normal. If you normally set it at 6:30, set it for 6. And I'm sure most of you are going, why on earth would I want to do this, Lori? Well, I'm glad you asked. It will give you extra time to either fit your exercises in, meditate, read a book, have breakfast, or work on something you've been wanting to work on but don't seem to have the time to do it. Maybe you have a hobby you've wanted to pick up but just don't have the time. Well, this would give you 30 minutes of time. It also saves you from rushing out the door every morning feeling flustered and stressed. It could also give you extra quality time with your kids or your spouse. So there's a lot of reasons. Also, another one, you're probably going to roll your eyes at this one too. Don't put off cleaning up after yourself. I mean, think about it. How much extra time does it actually take to wash out your coffee mug or your cereal bowl? Like 5 minutes, if that. If you don't stay on top of the minor chores, they quickly build up into a sink full of smelly dishes, which takes you even longer to do. And then you get frustrated because, people keep adding to it and nobody seems to clean up after it. So that would eliminate a lot of that hassle. If you wash them immediately, it'd be done. Don't have to think about it. Also, people who immediately clean up after themselves, like making their beds, washing their coffee mug, they tend to be happier as well as more successful since it makes you feel accomplished. Removing clutter and chaos around you puts you in a better mindset, and it also gives you a sense of control. So this one, I know I've talked about gratitude prior, but swap complaining for gratitude. One of the best ways to feel better when you need it most is by showing your gratitude. Be thankful for the best thing that has happened to you today. Write it in your gratitude journal. I know I already mentioned it, keeping a daily gratitude journal, but I want to stress that doing so can change your life. And I'll tell you why. Researchers have found that those who keep a weekly gratitude journal tend to exercise more, have fewer physical symptoms, and are more optimistic about their future. Daily discussions of gratitude can increase alertness, enthusiasm, determination, attentiveness, energy, sleep duration, and it can also lower feelings of depression. Individuals who think about, talk about, or write about gratitude daily are more likely to help someone with a personal problem or offer emotional support to those who need it. Those who are grateful place less importance on material items, are less envious of others, and are more likely to share their belongings with others. And this is a huge one. Daily gratitude practices may even help prevent coronary artery disease. That right there, I'm going to start practicing. So this one's a good one too. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop it. You may find yourself doing this a lot as you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook. Just stop. Stop it. So here's the cold, hard truth. There's always going to be someone who has a better paying job, lives in a nicer home, drives a fancier car, and goes on more exotic vacations than you. Also, don't believe everything you see on social media. Sometimes people like to create illusions online that their life is perfect and wonderful. But in reality, even with all the nice things, they may be struggling and they may be extremely miserable. You don't know. We can only hope everyone's lives are as great as they portray them on social media. Comparing yourself to others only does one thing. It just makes you miserable. So stop it. Also, keep things doable. Don't overcommit. Overcommitting can cause feelings of stress, frustration, and just an overall sensation of feeling overwhelmed. Do not feel obligated to always say yes to people. No is a perfectly great answer, and it's also a complete sentence. No. Period. There is no explanation needed after the word no. And I know that's hard for people sometimes to practice saying no, but try it. It's very freeing. And lastly, I'd like to challenge you all with this one. Don't be so predictable. Doing the same thing each and every single day. Boring. And it puts you in a rut. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to stop being so predictable. Break out of your comfort zone. Break out of your routine. Do it at least once a week. Do something new that you've never done before once a week. Have you wanted to try painting? Go buy a canvas, some brushes, and some paint. Google how to paint with acrylics, and bam, there are thousands of videos that will pop up. Small shakeups in your routine could lead to meeting new people and seeing different sights, which could help kickstart ideas for both work, professionally, and in your personal life. So don't be afraid to switch it up. Don't be afraid to break out of your comfort zone. So that's your challenge, to do one new thing a week. Something you've been wanting to do and have been putting off, do it. Go do it. So try incorporating these tiny changes into your life, and I bet you'll be surprised at how much better, happier, and more productive you're feeling. So that's all I have for today. This is Lori with the Dali Nala. It's time to wake up and live.